to the Transfer Exchange Show. We are live. It's been a bit of an interlude, but there's plenty been going on. Arsenal have signed Andrea Berta, or he joined Arsenal as sporting director. Rumours that Ruben Amorim has been walked out of training after conceding a goal in 5 minutes. Surely not true. And the same thing happened with Maresca as well.
It's complete fake.
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh, apparently. But there's also plenty of news going on in the transfer market, even though it's not even open yet. It's starting to get a bit busy and people are talking. First and foremost, Steve. Well, welcome, Steve and Garth back to the show.
All right. Good to be back. Enjoyed the break, but it's good to be back.
All right. The big news this week so far, especially with Arsenal, finally got Andrea Berta over the line. Football's worst kept secret over the last couple of weeks. Some big signings he's made for Atletico Madrid. Oblak, Rodri, Antoine Griezmann, Suarez, Jimenez. And he joins the ranks of Arsenal with them needing some reinforcements in the summer. Big news for Arsenal, hey Steve?
Yeah, big news. I mean, exciting news. As you say, worst kept secret. We all knew it was coming, so it was just a matter of when it was going to be announced and not if. Turned out it was to be between him and Jason A2 in the end. So all those other guys that were being bandied about, whether they was, sort of smoke screens or what, but just turned out that they was really never in the running in the first place. It was basically down to those two. But yeah, mate, it's I mean, we will see how he goes. I mean, obviously you've read out there some of the players that he's brought in, over his time as sporting director at other clubs, big names. And all you can do is to hope that he can replicate, what he's done before for Arsenal, as us to being Arsenal fans. So, yeah, it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time for Arsenal. I think the next season's a big season. There's a lot of talk about, big players coming to the club next season. In a lot of people's eyes, you would probably look at Arsenal getting pretty much close to being, you should be starting winning something big now. And, I think this geezer's going to come in and start, and you will see some big names in the summer. I've got no shadow of doubt about that. I mean, he hasn't come in just to have a quiet summer. And, so it's exciting, mate. It's an exciting time for Arsenal. And he looks like he's had he's had some good experience with big clubs, and it'd be interesting to see what type of role he'll take up. So I don't think I've got my ideas of what that role will be, but it'd be hopefully he'll work together with the manager and Jason A2 as probably as a team, and they'll go and hopefully try and get some of the best players, which. We pretty much know who the players are that Arsenal want for the summer anyway already. So it's just a matter of him, doing those last little bits of negotiations to get those deals over the line. But yeah, he seems like he knows he's been around, and we listened to him today. We've heard Arteta speak about him. So yeah, the good thing is that he seems to be working as a part of a team. This seems to be the problem that with Edu that had towards like the end of Edu's tenure was the problem that he had with Arteta, was the fact that Arteta was given, sort of like more leeway, like a stronger position in transfers and a say, and I don't think Edu could work under those stipulations, which is fair enough. But obviously, Berta's going to come in, and obviously he will work, and he did work like that at Atletico Madrid. So all ties in, mate. But yeah, exciting time. Just let's see some big signings in the summer, mate.
You mentioned there about the fact that towards the end of Edu's reign, he wasn't happy with the share of sort of influence within the transfers. For people that don't really know too much about that, what actually do you think happened there?
Well, I mean, when sort of Josh Kroenke wanted to give Arteta a bigger say, a bigger role. He wanted him to work with it. I mean, when Arteta first came, he didn't have such a bigger say in transfers. It was only sort of later on that, they wanted him to have a bigger say. And, just said Edu just couldn't work under those conditions. He seemed like Edu in the end was a one-man band. He tried his best to work under Arteta. I mean, they did a half-decent job. Don't get me wrong. There wasn't like a fisticuffs. It was going to fall out. But there was a couple of decisions, especially with people like Sesko and Isaac and a couple of other players, where there was a little bit of a split of agreements on who was won targets and who wasn't, and so on and so forth. And Jason Ayesu as well was sort of put up a few steps, so he was given an extra bit of role as well. And Josh and but what this was really, I think, I don't know this for sure, but it seems to me that Arteta's, we've got a manager who who players come who want to play for him. He's got a big say. You look at Arsenal transfers in the past, a number of them turned around and said, because of Arteta, it's what Arteta said. You've seen Ornstein, the Fabrizio Romano, so this had Arteta behind it. He was behind this. He was the reason. He's the one pushing for this. And hence Trent Josh wanted to give him a bigger role, which makes sense. So, and Edu didn't like that. He wanted to be more of a one-man band, and that's why he's gone to Forest, and that's why and he will be given a freer role there. He'll be the guy in charge. It'd be just him. There'd be no one else around, and there won't be no Jason Ayetus. There won't be no Mikel Artetas. It'll just be him and the owner. So. Yeah, it was just they didn't leave on bad terms, but it was getting to a point where, it was like Edu just didn't want to work like that. It wasn't the way where he wanted to go. He wanted more control, not less, basically, than anything else. He wanted more say, but he was getting less say.
Yeah, understandable. Garth, sporting directors, I know, I don't know what your stance is on them, but what would you say their role should be in terms of the balance between management and sporting directors?
This is obviously, I'm old school. I think the manager should be the man that does everything pretty much. But I grew up with Sir Alex Ferguson, and the man had an iron fist around every aspect of his job pretty much. He allowed the managers these days are more coaches, ain't they? This is what it feels like. Arteta feels like he's breaking from the mold a little bit of the modern manager. And I don't mean that derogatory by saying they're coaches, but they're more about the actual match day, where it feels like there's a whole backroom staff that do with everything else. So their job, but in the modern game, for me, if you're going to bring in a sporting director, if you're going to pay the money that you're paying for him, then he has to be the head honcho when it comes to the decisions that you're asking a sporting director to make, which is transfers, which is, I believe they also get involved with the coaches who they're bringing in as well, not the main ones that I tell you what, but the backroom staff, the this and that. So I don't know the man. He'll be judged fully on his performance at Arsenal, obviously. The fact that he sanctioned £113 million transfer for João Felix would worry me. It would instantly worry me. But it's what you're saying is true, Steve. That Arteta's got this. He's the one who holds all the power. Then you need to hope that this Berta is fully on board with that and understands that completely, because otherwise you're just going to be in the same position.
Well, I don't think he would have come otherwise, would they? I'm sure they've got.
Well, you just don't know anymore, do you?
I'm sure they've had a conversation beforehand to say, look, this is the way we're going to work. I'm sure he wants to know. So,
but that's what I mean. Boys, look where with Dan Ashworth at Man United. He was given all them insurances. Then he comes in, and his decisions, his opinions are overrided on a daily basis. 6 months later, he's out the door.
Yeah. Oh, make no mistake. Yeah. I mean, look, make no mistake. Berta's not a one-man band in this.
I don't mean that. What I mean is he's been brought in for his opinion and for his opinion to carry a lot of weight, like Dan Ashworth got to Man United. So I'm comparing it to two. When Dan Ashworth got to Man United, he realised that he had Wilcox, butting in. He had Berardi butting in. He had all these different people telling him that his opinions weren't the Man United way. This isn't what we want. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, listen, he could be a great sporting director, isn't it? You know, I mean, they're judged on the here and now. So if he comes in, get like all of a sudden, you boys go and get Isaac, go and get Sesko, go and get Gakores, everyone's going to love him. You know what I mean? If he comes in and 30th of August, you're still struggling to find a striker, you haven't got one of those deals over the line. Because I personally, listening to Arsenal fans, I don't think any Arsenal fan really cares about anything other than a striker. Like, I know Zubimendi, I understand, you know what I mean? But if he doesn't bring a big name striker in, he's going to be taking the blame for that. But their job, listen, it's to facilitate the transfers, it's to negotiate the contracts, I presume, with the agents and with the player.
Yeah.
So yeah, fingers crossed he does a good job here, because I think you're one or two players away from being an absolute powerhouse in European football. So you know, if he makes the right decisions, brings in one or two of those key players, specifically that striker, to keep, even if it's just to keep your fans happy, then yeah, he's going to have a nice time there. And I thought Edu and to begin with, Edu and Arteta had a great relationship, didn't they?
I'd say.
He can have a team, if he can build a rapport with Arteta. Yeah, if he can build. Yeah, listen, he wanted. Look, Edu, for me, he saw the writing was on the wall. He wanted to go out and show what he was about.
He wanted everything, Garth. He wanted to run the whole show. He wanted, like,
I understand that. Yeah,
yeah. Because some managers, like you said, some managers are like, you're the coach. You're on the pitch, and that's what you do. But Arteta's not like that.
Yeah, Eddie backs himself. Eddie obviously backed himself to be the be all and end all. The buck stops with me, and Nottingham Forest sounds like a good fit for him as well. They've got the money.
And to be fair on Edu, look what he's done so far. Look what he's done up until the point where he left, and obviously up until that point, he had a lot of say, and he's done an excellent job in bringing in some very astute signings in some very good prices. He's done an excellent job. So there's nothing you can take away from Edu down, although people will try to. And then Garth, you alluded to the fact that it hasn't always gone well for Berta. He's brought in the likes of Thomas Lamar, where he spent upwards of 70 million. Re-signed Diego Costa, and like you said, sanctioned the deal for João Felix. Although at the time, João Felix being one of the most exciting prospects in European football as a youngster, there's a level, but 100 plus million is too much.
Yeah, it was still rand. I mean, he's still the fourth most expensive transfer of all time, isn't he? Like, they went out of their way, like, paid the release clause for him, and I think all of us at the time were like, he's had one good season in Portugal. So, listen, if you can build a rapport, if they work as a unit, like I say, you're 2 players off, I reckon, from an absolute powerhouse unit in Europe. So, another winger, another striker, and then supplementals throughout that team.
I think that was more about João Felix, though, didn't you? I think at the time, I don't think there was a person around that didn't want João Felix. I just think he's him himself. Like, you speak a lot about mentality, Garth, and I agree with you. Do you know what I mean? This kid just got crap mentality, and he's just not. I don't know.
He was never a fit for Diego Simeone, Steve. In my opinion.
No.
He was never a fit for that system, that mentality.
I was surprised.
I'm not. Listen, he's probably got a poor mentality as well. By the fact that he's been to so many clubs suggests that. But it was. I'm being facetious. It's one bad one, you know what I mean? He's got the good ones, and as I say, for me, sporting directors usually are judged on where they are now. He's got a clean slate. He'll be judged on what he does with Arsenal, specifically this transfer window, because I know that there's a lot of, and listen, we're all reactionary as fans, but there are a big sect of Arsenal fans that are very disappointed with the January transfer window still, and do feel rightly or wrongly, do feel like if you'd bought a striker in January, you'd be in a better position than you are right now, as in, like, closer to Liverpool, maybe top of the league. I don't agree with it personally, but that's I would have thought that's the only issue he's got to deal with. Like, you need that striker just to keep him quiet. I mean, I'm hearing Gakores is the main man now. I don't know if that's right.
We'll get on to that now. Obviously, a new story came out yesterday. Arsenal, a target which Arsenal have been looking at for a while now, Steve, in Gakores. Rumours that Arsenal have stepped up the chase for Gakores due to after Andrea Berta coming in and being one of the more fancied strikers. Excellent season he's having so far. Do you know much more about this story?
No, I mean, I spoke to you, didn't I? And I was quite surprised by the article. and especially you brought it out because it really didn't tell us much that we didn't really already know.
Mhm.
I mean, the article come out from the Athletic, was from David Alstein and Gunner Blog, and said that Arsenal were. He's one a player that Arsenal are really interested in, and Berta likes him a lot. Well, we've known that for a year, so I don't really. And I kept reading the article, and I kept reading the story, and there was nothing in it that I didn't already know. But Twitter went wild, X went crazy, and I was just and I was
when they rehash a story like that.
and I was just reading repeats of stuff that I was reading a year ago.
Yeah.
So it was a very strange one for me. The only thing I will say is that if Bert has come in and if they've spoken to since January, he's spoken to Arteta, and out of the three that have always been the targets, which has been Sesko, Isaac, and Watkins has always been the other one. Do you know what I mean? So let's put him to one side a minute. But the main ones have always been Isaac, Sesko, and Gorikis. It's always been them. So whether Bert has just came in and said to Mikel, I feel this is the guy that we need, and that's the way they're going to go now, then fair enough. Do you know what I mean? Then they may have spoken. Bert might have put his review across, and Arteta might have gone, well, yeah. That might have found its way across to Ormston Athletic. He may be putting out something that was out a year ago because he knows something a little bit more behind the scenes that he's getting ready to report maybe 2 weeks' time, for instance. So there could be a little bit of that in it. Yeah. But, I mean, he could be his guy. Could be Bert, could be Gorikis, he could be his guy. And he's convinced Arteta now that he's the number one. Because Sesko's been the one that we've been doing work on, that we've done the most work on. Ormstein's reported that as well as I have before, when he said that nobody has done as much work on any striker in the world as if they've done on Benjamin Sesko. That's where all the conversations have been, mostly been aimed at. But they've been looking at Gorikis for over a year. Do you know what I mean? They've been scouting him, and look. As an Arsenal fan, if Gorikis came in, I'll be quite happy. Do you know what I mean? One or the other for me. I just report on it and enjoy the striker as an Arsenal fan, whoever comes. But look, it's going to be interesting. I mean, maybe you can let us know who you think, who you would prefer. But I think if anything, Kears, it's probably this could be reading into it. And the strangeness of the timing of the report, considering it's something that we've known from back on anyway, could mean that maybe there's something in the pipeline that in the future Gorikis is now maybe just headed ahead of Sesko. Who knows? Because Sesko was Edu's guy. Yeah. Sesko was Edu's guy, and Arteta and Edu had agreed on Sesko. Isaac's, look, Arsenal ain't paying that money for Isaac. Do you know what I mean? They're not in my. They're not paying it, and I don't think. And from what I'm hearing, that he's just they're not going to let him go.
Yeah,
they're not going to. They're simply. I think what they're going to do, Garth. They're going to do like an Harry Kane, like Levy did with Kane. You're not going, even if you want to go at Man City. Yeah. You're not going, mate, because all you're going to do if we sell you, that means we're going backwards.
Yeah,
we just want to. So he got
anyone's got the money for him. I don't mean because it keeps going up, don't it? What is it? It was 120 last I heard. It must be 130 now.
Yeah, that's before the Carabao Cup final.
Yeah.
So simple answer question. I think if anything, mate, this could be a sign that this guy. Well, I mean, we'll see in the next week or two or the month leading up to the window. But personally, I think a striker will come in that first part of that window from the 1st of June to the 10th of June. I think you'll see Arsenal striker then come in. And it'll be either Sesko or Gorikis. I'm pretty sure it'd be one of them. So, and one thing I will say, very strange the timing of this report. Something that's we've known for a long while. Someone have all seen standing to come out with it literally yesterday. If you read into that, Saints going on. He knows something.
53 goal contributions. In 42 games this season is an outstanding season so far. whatever league you're playing, unless it's the Sunday League Alliance. It's
he got slagged off. Even
then, it's watch this. You know what I mean? Even then. Those games we played for the Dog and Duck who's banged in 60 goals this season, bro.
Still,
bring down. Former Manchester United winger Nani says that if there's an opportunity to sign Gyökeres, Man United should make that signing. A player who wouldn't have been very impressed with the signing last season because he seemed like he tries to take on too many players, but this season he said his game's matured, and he thinks he would be a great fit for the Premier League. Someone who you're not too sure about, but he's getting the endorsements of a former Man United player like Nani. Maybe it's time to shine in the Premier League.
Well, to be fair, I think it's not that I'm sure about it. And Nani was saying, well, like last season, like if you remember, this was the beginning of the season. I was talking about Gyökeres. Like there's a lot of hype, and I was like, oh, he's got issues with his game. It does feel like he's ironed them out. You know what I mean? He'll be 27 in the summer, prime. So there's no resale value on him. That's the only thing I'd say. I know that's football fans don't care about that, but football clubs do care about that a lot of the time. But no, like I said when me and Steve had the debate about Man United's pulling power. If there's a Champions League team in for him, then we don't have we're not in the race. You know what I mean? I believe the release clause is 85 mil sterling, 100 mil euros. From what I've read, it sounds like Sporting will be willing to take like 65, 70 mil for him in the summer.
I spoke to I mean, I think it's about 58, Garth. I think you'll find.
Yeah. Know them. Do you know what I mean? Listen, in today's market, that's not even. There's not even loads of money. We paid 71 for Højlund. So
because Garth, it is a risk, though, isn't he, mate? It's a risk, isn't it? It's still a risk as much as how many goals he scored. I mean, every signing's a risk, isn't it? Every signing, Isaac's a risk. Yeah, anybody's a risk.
Well, the thing with Isaac is Premier League proven, isn't it? And I know makes us sound it makes us sound like all these other leagues are lesser. The Portuguese league is the Portuguese league. I'd point to Darwin Núñez, absolutely dominated in that season for Benfica. I think he had nearly a goal a game, but he only played like 30. He didn't have the same numbers as Gyökeres, but so listen, the Portuguese league, you can never be 100% sure, but he's been in England. He come up through Brighton, is it Gyökeres?
Right,
Brighton,
I think those little things, right, and he's been there. It's
In today's market, I would say 58 million for a player that's got them numbers. I mean, what is it? It's 95. I've got to add it here. No, that's Núñez. Hold up. 95 goals in 92 games or something for Sporting in the last 2 years for Gyökeres, plus his assists.
It's mad.
Considering Aston Villa wants 60 mil for Ollie Watkins in January, I think this is clearly. Obviously, every player's a gamble. You know what I mean? 27 is prime age, though. I would expect him to come in and hit the ground running. I do have my reservations about him, but they have settled over the last 6 months or so, it has to be said. And listen, if Man United were to buy him, I'd be a stag, and just as I'm sure you boys are. The question I got for you as Arsenal fans, you touched on it already, Steve. You put a lot of emotional efforts to put it, but I haven't got better words. You were preparing for Sesko, as I understand it, like as fair. Would you prefer Sesko or Gyökeres right now as it stands today, as fans?
Good question. Over to you, Steve.
He's putting that Oast card again, isn't he? Like, as we don't Oast cards when it suits.
He's impartial. He's not an Arsenal fan when he's hosting.
Don't worry. He's asking this question also. I'm not just getting lumbered. I think, like, if you're talking like now, I think I'm saying, get Gyökeres because I feel he's more of the ready now because of his age, because of where he's played in. I would probably just edge for Gyökeres. Value for money, being young, you look at Sesko. There's a thin line with fair play. Look, if you're pushing me, I'll probably go for Gyökeres, for the fact that I probably would say he's probably more of the ready now. So, and if we want to sort of win stuff in the next, because we don't know where City are going to be in a year or 2 or 3 years' time. They may be back
League One.
Well, it may be League One. Yeah, who knows?
Charges 120-point deduction. That's all I want to say.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I think I just edged for Gregori's of the now.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
That's
then
fair.
I do question that, because part of me is saying that, I've seen Sesko. He's young, of a young age, but you've got to buy for the now, really, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? I still need that striker, like you said, Garth. He's got to be for the now, isn't he?
Yeah, I agree.
Do you know what I mean?
I
Not for the 2 years time. Do you know what I mean? And not for him to come in and play that. I mean, look, if he comes in and but that's the reason. If we get Sesko, I feel that Watkins, is that was the idea, the Seskos and the Watkins, and that's why we went for him in January and the Sesko for the summer. Seems to think like things are changing around a bit. I think if Goriki's come in, I think it could be more of a Goriki's, and we've already got Havertz. I think it could be kept like that. So it's interesting. Yeah, I'd just take him, only just. And I think see him in against City. Goriki's, when I watched him, and I ain't seen him live a lot. I've only seen the highlights most of him. But the 2 times I've seen him, or the 3 times I've seen him, was against Man City, and he destroyed them. In the Champions League, he absolutely destroyed him. He scored a hat-trick, and he literally was an absolute menace and destroyed Man City. And when Arsenal beat Sporting 5-1, he gave Saliba one of the hardest games he'll ever have. He absolutely, even though we was winning 5-1, this guy was a menace. Do you know what I mean? At 5-1, so
that could have, you know what I mean? That could have changed Arteta's mindset. And if is that his name? Berta. Yeah, come in and said, I think Corres, push him over and said, just one quick point on that Berta. That suit was absolutely dapper. Enjoyed that. It was a nice suit he was wearing. But yeah, so this is what happens, isn't it, in football? You know what I mean? Things might have changed. With the emergence of Anwari coming through, you know what I mean? And like Lewis Skelly coming through. Is Arteta, I think he's 21. Do I need another young player in my team? Maybe I need to play, So yeah, listen, both great options. I think I'm with you, Steve. Just about. I don't know Sesko very well, as I keep saying. So
I don't think any of us do. I don't think any of us do, really.
Yeah.
So the numbers are undeniable.
I don't really mind. Look,
if you had to pick one, no. If you had to
they're both quality strikers. I think I was more excited about the prospect of a double swoop for a Sesko and Watkins, because as you said before, that here and now, and I think. When we are talking about it, you want that here and now. And I think when we was talking about that Watkins, it gives you assurances that you've got someone who could bag goals in the Premier League and is also sort of not winding down, but this is being his big move. And I think he would understand that sort of he could be coming in to start, but eventually you're going to be sort of moving on to the squad rotation kind of thing. But I don't know how I see that working with a Havertz in the team as well. And that seems a bit more difficult to sort of...
I'm pretty sure if Arsenal, this is talking to people today. I mean, from my understanding, if Arsenal put the 60 million down for Sporting, Goriki's would jump to go and play for Arsenal straight away. Like a rookie. Because I mean, there's not really many. I mean, who's looking for a striker now? This season, Chelsea maybe you could say, but.
Chelsea are always looking for a player, Steve.
Yeah. But there's not many strikers around, and that's the thing. So it is time to strike. I mean, we've got to make sure we're looking
for a striker as well, won't they?
We'll be looking for a striker eventually. Yeah, I think Darwin Núñez ain't going to be there for long. They're probably looking to jump on that fact that he wants to go Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabian clubs want him. So yeah, we need to make that move this season. It needs to be the right move.
It's funny how people. It's funny
the record that cannot be ignored, and I like the fact that he's played in England previously. Championship, I don't care. That's a solid league to play in England. I think he was top goal scorer in there. He was at Brighton as well, so he'd be acclimatised to English football. That's not a worry at all.
Knows the language.
Brighton ain't silly. They've done it before where they've had striker players that they've brought in, they've gone elsewhere, and they've done well. And we've seen it with other clubs where we've seen these players emerge, and you realise, oh, actually, they were at Man City, or they were at so and so, or that so and so. So for me, that's always a good sign that he was doing something younger that teams liked, and and it took him to go to a few other clubs to find his feet. So yeah, I like the prospects of that. I don't see it coming in. It's far too much, and I don't want to spend well, if we had it plus more, but we need more than just one player. One player is not enough, and spending 120 million, it means that you're going to have to start selling players to then get those players in. And by the time you do that, it's the end of the transfer window.
So I think, how old's Isaac anyway? What is he now?
22. He's young, Isaac.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was young. Oh, I had that one well wrong. I thought he was
26, 27, is he?
So he's the same age as Gregorius then.
Yeah. So it's funny. I was
a year younger, where Gregorius is 27 coming up, and then Isaac. Come on, my computer's just going slow.
Yeah. I was listening to Andy Bressel, someone I like to listen to, who always talks
25.
25.
Yeah. And he was saying that,
Sweden have got a couple of good. Sorry, Steve. Sorry.
No, he was just saying that he's one of these. He'll think he'll fit into Arsenal like a glove. He said he'll think he'll score the goals. That he's doing in Portugal. He said wherever, if you're scoring that amount of goals, look at Haaland in the Bundesliga. I know it's a little bit of a better league, but he was smashing them in. And he was saying he's just like another thing he likes. He's massive, he's big, he's strong, he's powerful, he's a bully as well. He said, I like that.
Yeah, one thing that Danny said that we saw in the Arsenal game is that he runs for 90 minutes. He runs the same pace at the start as he is at the end. We saw that in the Arsenal game, which was quite surprised when I was watching that he was still going at the end, even though they were getting beat. Isaac's 25. Good Carers is 26, and by the start of the new season, but both 27, I think. Or exactly.
That 60 million's a lot of money, isn't it? Difference between Gregorius and Isaac.
Exactly. You could double, and if you double the player, I mean, if you can bag goals and get assists in your league, that's all I'm looking for. We need someone who's going to put into the back of the net, who's going to be a goal threat and strike some fear in some players' eyes, and do something a little bit different than what we've already got. Because although Havertz is doing an excellent job and what he's done up there,
he's not a centre forward, is he? It's not a centre forward.
It's certain just the runs and the instinct. So I think a big signing for getting and hopefully he does the business.
Andy McCoy threatens we should be going for. He wasn't sure about that Arsenal should go for Gorikies. He's adamant that we should go for Mateta instead. I was like, Mateta, Palace instead of Gorikies. Yeah, no, sorry, I like Mateta.
I like Mateta. I don't know about that. I like Mateta. I like him.
You can link out the Rangers and if he likes him that much.
I do like Mateta, but I don't know about if he's the guy for Arsenal.
No, I don't think so.
Other players currently out on loan at Man United, Anthony and Rashford doing really good, and Tyrell Malacia also doing a good job, which plays into the hands of Man United come the summer, Garth, where they'll be able to make some money on these players. If you're going to start loaning out players like the big names like this, they're doing exactly what you want and putting themselves in the shop window.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Anthony and Rashford ain't got obligations on there, but looking like Man United dealt with Sancho, it doesn't even matter anymore. But yeah, I mean, if they continue this form to the end of the season, you could easily hope for 40 mil for the Rashford, what we're asking for, and a 25-30 mil for Anthony. We paid 12 for Malacia. I can see us definitely getting that back. Easily getting that back.
He looked sharp against Arsenal.
Yeah. So, and it's not. This is the other thing people forget. It's not just about the transfer fees. It's getting these wages off the book. Rashford 300 whatever it is grand a week. Anthony 200 and whatever it grand a week. And Malacia is on 100 something grand a week. And if we can shift Sancho as well, excellent. Like 20 mil for Sancho, banging. It does mean though it leaves us light, and we've got to go out and get players though. We've got to go and get players immediately to replace them because we're light at the moment. But I also, though, it makes me wonder where the problem lies. Is it the league? Is it too hard for an Anthony? Had Rashford now just got bored of being a Manchester United player? Yeah, he did say Malacia's always been decent, like a decent player, so it doesn't surprise me. I think that was more of that was just to get him out of the team. I think, if you know what I mean. I don't like we wanted that Dorgu come in, so look, fair play to him. I will say Anthony started on fire for Man United as well, so this
he scored against Arsenal, didn't he?
Yeah,
he scored 3 and 3 for Man United.
Yeah.
And then I think it was one in the next 48 games or something. Like no joke. Like, literally, yeah. So and I like Anthony. Like as a player, I felt it just weren't happening for him.
No.
You know, when you see him allowed to do what he wants to do, I suppose, or when he's playing with no pressure on his shoulders,
I think that's
he
it,
seems
mate.
yeah. But Man United's like this at the moment because I still think I honestly believe there's a player in Højlund. I believe it. And I just think the pressure. I said this when we signed him. It was foolish to sign a 20-year-old as our main striker. The pressure. We've ruined him. Absolutely ruined him. So and Rashford, clearly he needed a fresh start, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like it pains my soul to say it because everyone who watches the show knows how much I like Rashford. He's he's one of our own in there. You know how it is when it's one of your own. When it's one of your own, it hurts to see him. But listen, he seems to have a bit of a rejuvenation himself. The Villa fans seem to be loving him. So. I think that's the one that's a definite. It feels like that one Villa are going to buy him. I don't know why. I've got no.
It makes sense to Villa to buy him.
Yeah. I've got nothing backing it up apart from it feels like he's having a good time there. It feels like the fans have taken to him. It feels like he's taken to the team. So and Anthony, listen, he can't. Anthony, I feel for him, he can't come back. So, but there's obviously something going on at Man United over like the shambles of a club that we are. That is not allowing some of these players to reach their full potential. Like and whether it be the fans, whether it be our entitlement for wins and being higher up the league, whether it's the changing of managers, the changing of the boardroom, like etc. These players needed to get out a fresh start. They weren't doing it at Man United, and I wish them nothing but the best. We're going to get into it in a minute when I see with Trent. I see a lot of fans online like digging Rashford out. Oh, he couldn't do it at Man United. They could, and he did. He did do it for Man United for a number of years. It just went bad at the end. Stop acting like the last year of his career was his career at Man United. You know what I mean? So I wish him all the best. And especially Rashford for England. People keep forgetting that. We need Rashford. We need players like Rashford.
I was happy he got back in the squad, man. I was really happy he got back in the squad.
Yeah. So look, wish them nothing but the best. And for the good of themselves and for the good of Man United in the financial fair play situation, it'll be nice to see all four of them move on for reasonable fees in the summer.
A player who's not doing so great after a good start at Chelsea, Jadon Sancho. It looks like he's going to be heading back to Manchester United. What do they do with him? Because I mean, his name in world football has been tarnished from one of the most highly rated youngsters in world football to what seems like a bit of a not troublemaker. It seemed quite hard. A player with a bad attitude and has lost his way. What do they do with him?
Just beg someone to take him because he can't come back to Man United after that. He can't after that freedom thing that he did on Rashford. I honestly, I think on this show I said I have backed Sancho. I have backed him all the way. And in that one, I've had long conversations with Alex, obviously friend of the show, about this. And she doesn't seem to think it's as bad as I do. So maybe I'm old man about this, because I was actually disgusted that he did that. I was annoyed.
They're paying your wages.
Yeah, I was pissed off. I was so pissed off that he'd done that. There was no need for it. You're just alienating, because he thought, this is the thing. Sancho clearly has poor mentality and a poor attitude. He thought he was going to Chelsea and that he could get away with whatever he wanted to do. And now it looks, everything, Steve will be able to test this in a second, but everything I read is that Chelsea may still sign him, or it's likely that they'll still sign him.
Yeah, so, yeah. He won't be back at United.
But if Chelsea don't sign him, then it's offer him to Dortmund for 15 mil. It's offer him to anyone for 15, 20 mil. Get him wages off the book. He can't be a Man United player any longer. He needs to sort himself out because otherwise he's going to be lost. He's going to look like he's one of the most talented footballers you'll ever watch. He really is. He's a different breed of footballer. There isn't a Jadon Sancho at his best in world football. And I'm not saying that he's well good. What I mean is he's different. He's a different type of player to almost any other winger you'll find around Europe. But his attitude stinks. And it's been like that since Man City, ain't it? He was getting rollickings from Pep, and I forget the Spaniard who was there. He's got the dodgy name that I can't say, that Pep's assistant or whatever, exactly. Yeah. Getting roasted there for not turning up the training on time, not being this, not being that. Then he goes to Dortmund. Even at Dortmund, when he's their best player, the manager's benching him because he's turning up late for team training. He's turning up late to team meetings. So he obviously thinks he's better. You know what I mean? The disrespect he's showing. Man United, we've seen all the issues he's had at Man United, and now Chelsea. And he started so well, and now again, what's happening to him? So he needs to buck it up. You know, I mean, listen, he's a very rich man. It doesn't really matter what I say about it. By the sounds of things, he will back himself to the end, but he needs to take accountability for his actions. And if he doesn't sort it out soon, he's 25. He'll be like, I can't even say this, but Jadon Sancho's quickly becoming a streets will never forget. Like, you know what I mean? Like a Del Tarabat. Like,
but the thing is, I've not seen enough.
It's like a Dele Alli. Do you know what I mean? That's what
Dele Alli, yeah.
But the thing is with Dele Alli had an excuse. He had an excuse for being like.
But even then, Steve, Dele Alli had what 2-3 seasons where he was outstanding.
Yeah, but he had an excuse as well.
Same Dortmund, 3 years.
Dortmund. Yeah. Dortmund, yeah.
But he's given chance after chance after chance, but he just throws it back in whoever people's faces.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's been given a chance. Man United, he was at Man City, you know, Man United, he was at Dortmund, you know, they give him a chance, you know. He got his big move, Man United, you know, it seemed like he got his money, he got a few quid in his pocket, then just sort of like packed up. And ever since then, he's just gone back to his ways and he's not changed. And go on, mate.
Sorry. No, I was going to say, I've seen people like this in my life and players. It's when they first arrive, they do everything. They train the hardest. They be the best version of themselves that they can be. And then the moment they get a little bit of credit, get a little bit of adulation, they rest on their laurels.
Yeah, they think they're better than they are, don't they? They think they're better than they are.
They think they don't have to try anymore. They think they don't have to try. They think that they've made it, and that's what I've seen from Sancho. That's what I've seen from him at Man United and at Chelsea, man. And it annoys me.
Certain players where they do really well at the start of the season, and then they start to sort of, as the season goes on, they start to dwindle, and they fizzle out at the end of the season. But they start well at the start of the season because they've had pre-season, they had no choice, and then the training starts to drop off. The little things that they were doing extra in training before start to drop. They drop off, and then they're just a normal player. Then they forget all those things they did in pre-season, making them extra better player. So yeah, Jadon Sancho, he needs to sort it out because he's gonna end up just on the heap. And where you end up, you'll end up. I don't know, like you see players like Ross Barkley, when they end up at Luton and then they have to sort of rebuild their careers again, or they end up at certain other clubs. Where does Jadon Sancho go after this? When if the rumours are
who's going to want him? Who's going to want him?
Dude, he's on high wages. Who's going to take that risk?
It's going to want him.
The talent he's got. The problem is with the talent he's got. There'll always be someone who thinks they can rehabilitate him. You know what I mean? Like, because the wages you'll have to take, just like Rashford, you'll have to take a wage reduction. But I can easily see like a Nottingham Forest if they're in the Champions League next year, being like,
yeah, fair shout. Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, I've heard Tottenham.
There you go, Spurs. Yeah, Dortmund would. I think Dortmund will always take him back for a third time. You know what I mean? Like Italy. You know what I mean? Like there will always be until he's 29ish, 28. Like or does a Dele Alli where he literally like is not even playing at all. Like I can see.
What annoys me about Sancho, Garth, is he's not even got an excuse. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you can look at people. You can look at Rashford, right, and you can analyse. You can make analyse why you think Rashford is the way he is. But you know the way I see it now, Rashford just wanted, he just needed to go somewhere else. He obviously he's a confidence player. The pressure was getting to him, and his performance was suffering because of it, which is fair enough. If he can go on to somewhere else and we're seeing him do well, that's Rashford. But Sancho's not got any excuses. Do you know what I mean? He just doesn't want to. He's got no pressure on him. People keep giving him chance after chance after chance. Still getting his wages and but
that's what I mean. Like his contract's up at the end of next year, so we've got to get rid of him. But he will never see that money again. Like I think originally we were paying him 300 and something grand a week when we first signed him, but obviously because we've got the 25% reduction for every season you're not in the Champions League. I think it's down to about 220 or something now, 250, something like that.
At 25, to say that you're considering like what you just said to me, that he was a player who had special ability, special skills like you've never seen. To be at 25, and we're talking here about going to a club that's going to take a risk, going to take a gamble. Yeah. So it's awful. if he was listening to us now, he should be ashamed of himself.
Well, he'd be posting about us, wouldn't he? Telling us that we're wrong and he's the fall guy. The other thing I can say,
Yeah.
like, and do you know what? For fans, it's actually a very hard thing to understand. There are football players who are just so naturally talented that they become footballers, but they don't enjoy being footballers.
Yeah.
They don't like the game of football. Yeah, like
100%.
they don't like it. And like, listen, we can because we're older, but like when you know what I mean. If you told 12-year-old me that, like, oh yeah, James Sancho, he just doesn't like being a footballer, and like, what for Man United, for England, are you out of your mind? What we do? They're just like that. So maybe he's one of them. Maybe it is just like he's like, man, like it's not the be and end all of my life. Like I'm a, you know what I mean? I'm earning bare wage. I've got a lovely manner. You know what I mean? Who cares what the papers say about me? Like,
sit on playing PlayStation to all hours in the morning.
Apparently that's the thing he does, isn't it? He's got sleeping problems. But yeah, from what I understand, again, I haven't got any inside sources, is he's up until 3 a.m. playing FIFA. Like, and there's screenshots of it in there and everything. Like, it looks pretty. But yeah, listen, maybe he's one of them. Whatever the issue is, if he wants to be back in the England team, if he wants to be remembered as one of the greats, the time is now. He hasn't got any more, really. Like, otherwise, yeah, he's just going to be moving from club to club to club.
It's
you know,
last chance saloon, Garth, isn't it? Really, this is like last chance saloon. I mean, 25, we're saying last chance saloon, but it sort of is.
I think for a big move, for a big move, yeah, I think it is for a big club. But like, I'm not calling Nottingham Forest not a big club. You know what I mean? Like, for one of those marquee moves to be the star. When Man United bought him, we were like, we've got the single best young player in Europe. You know, he's 75 mil. We've got Jadon Sancho. Like, we've got Jadon Sancho. You know, how about that, lads? Who you got? Oh, sorry, who? Like, you know what I mean? Martinelli. Like, who you got? Liverpool? No, mate, no. Behave yourself, mate.
You nearly had Haaland as well.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not go down that road, Key. Just trying to make me upset now. But yeah, yeah, listen, I don't feel for him. No, I was about to say I feel for him. I've got empathy because maybe he just doesn't have that mentality and he can't do it, but he's got to sort it out if he wants to be remembered as one of the
he just comes across.
It's
it's hard for me to find empathy for him. See, for people like Anthony, I can get Anthony. Just concentrating on Man United for a minute. You know, I can get same with Rashford. Do you know? Same with I've spoken. I can't praise. We won't talk about it this show, but since Amrin's come in, my thoughts on Bruno have totally twisted. I think this geezer is just. Since Emery's come in, this guy's really stood up. That's another question for another show. But yeah, but there's players who have struggled and have not performed like they should, but they've got reasons for it. There's no reason for this kid. Do you know what I mean? Nothing. You know?
I know you can't from. That's what I'm saying. That's why maybe you got to think maybe he is just one of those who doesn't. It's a job. You know what I mean? It's a job, and I've had jobs I don't like. You know what I mean? And you don't put the effort in. So
first hearing that years ago, there's a player called Paul McGregor who used to play for Nottingham Forest. He did an interview and he said, "I don't like football. It's just a job." And I was just like, as a kid, I was like, "What the hell?" But I completely get it. You can imagine as being a kid playing football and just being really good, getting picked up and being really good, getting a professional contract. You're now there. You're earning the money. It's like, and I know kids that will. Top footballers that just quit and they was like, yeah, I want to ride BMX. Alan Smith was another player who, former Man United player who used to be a BMX rider, used to do all that, and he was just good at football, and he ended up being a professional footballer. So I do get it, and maybe he's one of them. He doesn't have that sort of that drive to be the best, to be the better than the best, and keep on pushing himself. And when you're talking about the upper echelons of top footballers, which he's meant to be. You need that. You need that to 100%. Motivate yourself. You need that in times where it's tough. You need 100%. That drive when you can't be bothered. Actually, I want to make myself bothered because I want to do this. I want to do that. Maybe he doesn't have that, and maybe he needs a team where he can just be himself, and he may be thrive that way. Maybe the Tottenham is that team where they just let him do what he wants, and he may get the best out of him. But yeah, when you're talking about playing at the top and being the best, it's going to be a struggle to see Jadon Sancho get to those heights again because mentality from now on.
There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse you can see, can you, as football fans? You know, even when you see it of a rival club, just being a lover of football, when you know the player's got so much ability, and you're just seeing them wasting it in front of your eyes.
It's wasted talent. Yeah, you do.
It's sad, and it's one of my biggest bugbears in football when I see a player who's got talent.
Yeah,
I've been unfair with Rashford because I genuinely believe now that my sort of anger towards Rashford of not being able because he can perform because I know how good he is. I genuinely believe it was something in his own head that was pressure, it was confidence, and as much as he tried, he just could not.
I feel for Rashford because
I feel
he gets
for him.
beaten down from many angles.
Yeah.
Whether he's going out wearing something that people don't rate, or
but Rashford has done
game on his day off, a game of basketball.
Let's be fair about it. That carpet.
I don't hear it. Have you seen the what's it called? The NFL players drip when they the walkway. Come on, like these are superstars as well. Rashford's a superstar as well, so let him live. Do you know what I mean? If I
annoyed me.
My life to become a footballer, let me wear that stupid Louis Vuitton.
It annoyed me as well. All that stuff with Rashford, our fans turning on him. What's he doing at a basketball game? They had 2 weeks off. He's not in national team. He should be training. He actually was, mate. He was at Nike HQ. He was at Nike HQ doing personal training. Yeah, but what? Yeah, but what, mate? Oh, yeah, but did you see what he's wearing? Yeah, I did, and it's awful. It ain't my taste, but he's got the money to buy that carpet and wear it. So, just leave alone. Our fans turned on him, and it disgusted me, and I hated it. I hated every second of it. So, I bet, get out of there, mate. Go and become a quality player somewhere else. Go and be a quality player.
And I've seen him against England, Garth, and he did well, actually.
Yeah, mate. You know my feelings on Rashford in the England squad. I know it was probably a crazy shout to say he should have been in the England squad, but I think we missed him. I think we missed that directness. I think we missed that player who can come and wrap a goal from anywhere. We missed that, and I think when we've got a fit Rashford and a Rashford playing well, it's better for the English national team as well.
100%.
Now on to the big story this week. Trent Alexander-Arnold looks like he's joining. The formalities are being written up, the papers are being signed, and Trent Alexander-Arnold will be a Galacticos by the end of the season. But it's been the reaction of the Liverpool fans, which surprised me a little bit. Well, it would have surprised me a lot prior to me getting to know what the Liverpool fans are like. Some Liverpool fans. But yeah, it's been some absolutely vile, disgusting things been said about Rashford for a player who's helped Liverpool win a Champions League, on the verge of the second Premier League title, has won pretty much everything with them. To make them to begrudge him a move to one of the biggest teams of all time just seems a bit, I don't know, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth, especially the way he's been written, rat, snake, all that, and it's like. And then people want to compare it to Robin van Persie joining Manchester United, or how would you react if Saka was to join Real Madrid? Well, I'll tell you what, if Saka was to help Arsenal win their first Champions League, win 2 Premier League titles for the first time in 20 plus years, I would not have a bad word to say about Saka. Would I be upset? 100%, because he's our star boy. But I would be fighting anyone who had anything close to what they said about Alexander-Arnold. Trust me on that one. Garth, I know you've got something to say about this one. Surprised by some of the reaction of it's not. I want to say some. There's a lot.
Just before Garth goes,
it's the majority from what I'm seeing.
Just before Garth goes, from some prominent people in the game as well. I'd like to add that. Some prominent people in the game.
Jamie Carragher. He's talking all sorts of wax when it comes to Trent Alexander-Arnold about how he should be signing a contract to get Liverpool some money, like as if they would sell him after he signed the contract. Like, get real. But Garth, what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, that's nonsense. That last bit. Did you ask me if I was surprised? Of course not. Of course not. They're Liverpool fans.
You
And
could
yeah,
say
like,
that.
it's not all. It's not all
that's true.
Liverpool fans. Yeah, because you set me up for it. That's why I've given you that face. Are you surprised? No, of course I'm not. Of course I'm not. Outraged by everything, ain't they? Like, yeah, listen, I'm a Man United fan, so obviously I'm going to have my issues with Liverpool. I think what they're up to is disgusting. He's one of your own, and that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean he owes you his allegiance non-stop. You know what I mean? He's giving you a service. Liverpool have come with a contract. It's not good enough, and it's Real Madrid. This ain't like, you know what I mean? It's Real Madrid. And the head loss is crazy. You know what I mean? I keep seeing everyone being like, I can finally admit it. He ain't a good defender. Reece James is better. Like, yeah, listen, I don't listen. We lost Ronaldo, you know what I mean? And I saw someone say it ain't the same. He wasn't like one of yours. It's like it comes as an 18-year-old kid.
Ballon d'Or that season. Did he not win a Ballon d'Or that season?
The year before, and then he stayed for one more year. Like, and then we sold him. Yeah, we had him from 18. I know he's sporting. He's one of ours. Wayne Rooney, he's one of ours. You know what I mean? Like he ain't, but he is. You know, he is. Like, we've all had it. It hurts. It hurts. Of course it does. But to start attacking them, man, like, nah, mate. I say to everyone, you know what I mean? Like, I ask you this: would you like to, you know what I mean, move to Madrid and double your money over there because you're going, you know what I mean, on free? Like, of course you would. It's a life experience for him, not less. Plus, it's I can't get my head around it. But yeah, Liverpool fans, you're shameless. You're absolutely shameless. Let me rephrase. The Liverpool fans attacking Trent Alexander-Arnold for this, you're shameless. He deserves to move on. He's given you everything he can. Plus, I would also say, is he looking at the writing on the wall? Van Dijk, even if he doesn't leave this season, 33 years old, isn't he? Yeah. 32, something like that, yeah. Salah, even if he doesn't leave this season, 33 years old. Nunes isn't cutting the mustard, you know. Like, you can see that squad is at the end. It's starting to fragment, you know what I mean? Like, people tell me Curtis Jones is no. Like, it's starting to, so maybe he's thinking to himself, do you know what? Leave now on the high before I don't get that opportunity again. 2 years down the line, Liverpool could literally be a fifth place team again. You know what I mean? Without no Van Dijk, without no Salah bagging 40 goal assists every 2 weeks. Like, maybe you got to think about that. But yeah, listen, if you're hating on the man, cool, I'll get a little bit emotional about it. If you're hating on the man for not even wanting, for leaving for Real Madrid, give your head a wobble. Really think about it. Real Madrid are the one team in world football that can come and take anyone, anytime. If they've got the money, anyone. You know what I mean? Any team. I hear people talking, they're like, oh, this player would never leave. No, he would. He absolutely would. Yeah. The only one I can think of that wouldn't is Matt Letizia. And even then, did Real Madrid ever come in for him? I don't know, but if they did, it'd go. You know what I mean? Like, it's Real Madrid. It's the best. It's the greatest football institute in the world. So yeah, I think they've been a lot harsh on him. And Jamie Carragher, sign a new contract, get him a bit of money. Yeah, all right, then what? How much are you asking for him? 120 mil?
130? Like 75 to 100 mil. I'm paying 75 mil for Trent. Talking about wake up.
But Real Madrid have obviously, I mean, we've spoken about this. Real Madrid have told him not to sign a contract. Yeah, don't want him to sign. They say you signed a contract. We can't buy you. You know, this ain't gone on behind the scenes. I've spoken to someone. You know, there's an extra 10 million whack in your bank. Don't sign a contract.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What, you know, this is like.
I do this. I deal with them.
I feel like these Liverpool fans just. I don't know what it is. They say whether it's our age, but you know, we talk about football. You know, it's not the same like how back in our day. You know, because our day was the best era. We all know that. Do you know we had the best players? That is going to be forever. Do you know what I mean? We'll always have the best players in our era. We're lucky to do that. But also the fans, some of the crap that they come out with. Do you know what I mean? It's got to be some of the worst, you know, takes and the way they look at things that there's ever been as well. You know, it seems to be, yeah. Look, I mean, how can you, you know, how can you begrudge this kid his move? You know, he's come to, you know, Liverpool. He's been there since he was 6 years old. He's won everything there is to win. You know, as a young kid, you've got an ambition, you know, to play for a team like Liverpool, get into the first side, win everything you can, play for England, play in the big competitions. Obviously, he'll still do that, playing with Real Madrid. And now he's going to go on to Real Madrid, and who are the best club that there's ever been. And You know, he's going to be playing with like Mbappe, for goodness sake, with Vinicius Junior. You know, with Jude Bellingham. Do you know what I mean? In the Bernabeu. You know, it's like Garth said, give your heads a wobble, for God's sake.
Give me a sense of pride.
If you're the dad, look at it this way: if you're the son, if he's your son, and he's gone, Dad, I've got Real Madrid. They've told me that they want to take me, not to sign a new contract, and they're going to do it. What should I do? If you love your son, you're going to get on your bike, fella. You know, I'm so proud of you. I'd be in tears. I'd be crying. I'd be hugging. If I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be saying, you have just got to the pinnacle of whatever you wanted to do in football. The only thing for you to now is when the England do the World Cup and you have completed your dream of what I've had for you since you was a baby.
You know it.
And if people can't see that, then there is serious. If you're watching now, there is seriously something wrong in your heads. And I just don't get it. And for Carragher to come out, you know, and say, it just shows you some football just lack thinking, lack knowledge. I don't know, think before they speak. Come out and say things like, oh, you know, he should have, you know, signed a contract so we're getting more money. You know, the transfer world don't work like that, Jamie.
The legacy, you got a chance to be a Steven Gerrard.
Look, my message box is open. If you want me to explain it to you, Carragher, I'm happy to do so. Because you don't seem like you know what you're talking about.
He's been talking some wham recently, though, mate. Honestly, Carragher's been talking some serious shit recently. So I
understand it a little bit if it was like, do you know what I mean? I think Jude Bellingham's a great side, but that still gets to me that he's at such a young age. He went straight to Real Madrid. I would love to, you know, in the real world, for Bellingham to go to like a Man City or like and win stuff in this country as an Englishman and then go to Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? I'd like him to have had that path, but I'm being selfish. Do you know what I mean? Real Madrid coming. But if I would have liked him to if I could have picked his path, I would have said, look, you young kid bit like Jude, go to Man City or something, or Liverpool, because he had the opportunity to. Because I think maybe he'll come back to there at some point in his career. I don't know. But Trent's done it
because he turned us down, didn't he? Because of those minutes, and he said Dortmund's the one that's offering me. Where are you coming from? But I thought it was a very mature decision for a 17-year-old to be like, no, you can't.
It's just like a selfish thing. like if I was, I would like to see him in this country more. I don't see him. You know, I don't watch him in Real Madrid. I don't see what he does. I only see what he does for England. I feel like I'm missing out on like a really special player. Do you know what I mean? I would have liked to have seen him in the Premier League for like 5 years, and then, but yeah, I mean, how can you begrudge Trent doing what he's doing? You can't.
You can't.
And for every Liverpool fan about to say you don't understand how it feels, no, we all do. Everyone here does. Arsenal lost Henry to Barcelona, and it was a killer. We lost Ronaldo, the literal best player in the world, to Real Madrid. I don't care if we got 80 mil for him. You know what I mean? I wanted to punch a wall through, but I wished Ronaldo all the best. You know what I mean? I wish every football team knows what you're going through, Liverpool fans. You ain't special. We've all had players leave on freebies or leave on bad terms or like we've all had it.
Money. I didn't leave for much money. Like considering the best players in the league.
It was 25 million, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We've all had it. Players fall out. Excuse me, the manager and go like a Yapstam going for 7 mil to Lazio, or Ruud van going for 10 mil to Real Madrid. You know, Real Madrid have taken, in my lifetime, Ruud van Nistelrooy, they've taken David Beckham, and they've taken Cristiano Ronaldo. So yeah, I know how you feel, all right? Yeah, I know how you feel. So don't act like you're the only one suffering.
But if Saliba goes, I'm finished with him. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Honestly, I was going to say, a little nervous. When Real Madrid, when he's even a rumour, you clench. It's just hope. It's just hope. Because as soon as they said to Libra, I was like, look, it's a bit early, isn't it? It's a bit early for this. Like, we don't need this now. Like, give us 2 more seasons. Let's win something first, please.
Let him win something. Come on, lads. Let him win something.
It's the countdown. Till they go. So, yeah, as soon as they've got their eye on your player, you best hope that another player turns up and takes their attention away from him. Because
look at the players as well. You got, not many people have spoken about the players that he's going to be playing with.
Yeah, it's Galacticos 2.0, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it ain't like the Galactus of like.
No, it's modern. It is modern, yeah, but because they ain't the same place. It's modern.
It's the modern day one, yeah.
It's the modern day one. It's as close as they've been for a while with Real Madrid. They are snapping up all the best players in the world. And they're generally free as well. They are very cheap.
They know what they can do. They know it. 2 years to go on your contract. Keep going.
Yeah.
You know, we're looking at you. We're looking at you, all right? A year to go, or 18 months to go, it's like, no, we're serious. So, you know what I mean? What are they offering you? Because we can, if you come for a free, we can, like, 5 times that, or not 5 times that's too much, but you know what I mean? Double it, put an extra $100,000 on it, whatever, you know what I mean? And then 12 months to go, yeah, we'll have you. Just don't sign. So, listen, it's the only club that's got that pull in the world. Not even Barcelona, Man United, Arsenal, Bayern, AC Milan, but no other team's got that pull. It's Real Madrid, man. It's
And they've got Rudiger, Trent Alexander-Arnold, David Alaba, and Mbappe for combined 200 million sign-on fee and zero signing fee. Zero fees. 200 million fee.
Do you know what? It must be lovely being a Real Madrid fan. It must be lovely.
I love it. It's cheat code. So anyone in England that says they're Real Madrid fan, it's cheat code. Don't rate it.
I'm not having that. Yeah, never. You don't have it.
Who would have thought Danny Ceballos would have been a Galacticos, though?
And he's doing well.
I'll tell you what.
He was playing around.
You saying we could do this
scrubs when he was with us, mate. Yeah.
They had a few of them. They had a few of them back in the day, though, didn't they? Like the actual workhorse players in their team. You know what I mean? They weren't just all R9s and Zidanes. Yeah. But,
I think they want to revamp their defence, don't they, Garth, Real Madrid? Because if they've got a weakness, that's it, isn't it? At the minute, they do let in a few goals in.
Yeah, Rudiger must be 32, 33, surely.
Yeah.
Obviously, the right back, mine's gone blank. Quality, but Danny Carvalho must be 33. You know, I know they wanted obviously Alphonso Davies, but I wonder if that's out the window now.
Did he sign a new deal?
Mendy's injured as well.
Did he sign in the end? Did he sign in the end? So. Yeah, they definitely listen. They've done the front line. You know what I mean? I think that they will be because obviously Tony Cruz retired this year, didn't he?
Modric obviously won't last.
He's got another year in him, ain't he? So I would have thought they'll be looking for another midfielder, which is why it ain't going to be 90 mil, Steve. But I wouldn't be surprised if Real Madrid took a sneaky punt on Bruno Fernandes. Obviously not 90 mil. That's a load of
not 90 mil.
No, of course not. And they'll be looking for him on a free. I would have thought because his contract's up.
Yeah,
next season.
I was surprised though. Do you know we were talking the other day about Bruno Fernandes? I was quite, I had a little while we were chatting about him in the chat. I had a little nifty at his age, and I was like quite shocked.
Like 6 years, man.
I didn't know he was that age. I thought he was. I thought 28 or something like that.
He's been at me. You got to remember, he did what 2 teams in Italy, didn't he? And back at Sporting,
went back to Sporting, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't Milan. It was like Sampdoria or someone. He was at Bruno Fernandes. I'm forgetting now. Hold on, let me have a look. But he was. That's what I mean. Yeah, no, and he's been at Man United for 6 years. So like Udinese and Sampdoria. He was in Italy.
Yeah. He's gone. I must admit, he's like. While we're talking about him, I can quickly say he's gone up so much in my estimation this season. I mean, I've had my thing with Bruno Fernandes, certain parts of his game, but since Amrin's come in, I just like he's all of a sudden turned into that captain for me. He has turned into that captain, and his performances on the pitch have been. I've watched him, and whether I'm watching him more, I don't know, but. Yeah, I mean, he's just impressed me no end.
I think it's probably because he's.
And I love his reaction to what he's
not carry, but kind of carry Man United. Yeah. So he's taken it on his shoulders,
but he's not.
I'm sure he's shrunk 3 inches, mate. You know what I mean? He was 6'1" when he joined. He's 5'9" now. Spine compression, bro. Carrying that team.
I mean, it's early days. We've still got a few months for the season to go, month and bit of the season to go. But at the moment, I think he's in my team of the year, Fernandes. At the minute, I was thinking about it the other day.
Good thing I'm sitting down because I can't know.
Yeah, I was going to say,
It's no, I need to say I'll say it when I see it.
The body snatchers actually happened. Some 16.
Yeah, I don't know. But I don't. I'll see something in a player, and then all of a sudden, I'll just click. Now, all of a sudden, from ripping a player to pieces, I'll see something that I like that.
Yeah,
and then like it'll change that. But
all that said, I ain't gonna lie. If someone did come in the summer with a 45, you know what I mean, 45 miller, I'd be like,
would you really?
45, 50.
How old is he?
31 at the start of next season.
Yeah, and I think Man United need money. They need that money.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So it's like, can you get in a player on 20, even 30, and you've got that extra bit of 10. It's those little leeways.
He's that type of player. He's that type of player. Amin would have had to have done his due diligence first, like to know that he's got someone of his standing to come in to replace him, because
it'd be different. It'd be a different player though, because I don't think
who can be but just as effective in what he does in a different way, if you like. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know whether Bruno Fernandes is could potentially be one of those players who's a little bit like a Modric, though, who you can actually keep until
possibly.
Like he's got that. If he slows down, he's still got that class, that guile around the pitch, just to drop a shoulder, take on a man. He's just keeping things ticking over. I don't know.
That's what we're looking at him, but not in the Amorim system. That's what I mean. In this system right now, the way Amorim wants it to be playing, I wouldn't want to lose Bruno Fernandes, but at 31 at the start of next, I think it's September his birthday, so you know what I mean. Early next season, he's 31. I'd be sorely tempted. I'd be sorely tempted to cash in on him while we still can as an asset, if you know what I mean.
Is he a box-to-box guy? If you watch him more than me, would you say he's a box-to-boxer?
Yeah, not in. I've called him that before, but not in the old sense of the box-to-box, like a Gerrard, because he plays further up the pitch. But he comes deep. He comes very deep.
My point is there, because if box-to-boxers tend to not last as long because they need the legs. If he's someone who isn't a box-to-box, he could go on for like another 4.
You could listen. Bruno could do. I'm not saying as well as Modric, but Bruno could do the Modric job. He definitely could do that. He definitely could do that. But he runs a lot. He runs a lot. He does. I don't think he's got. I think you've got two more years of him in the Premier League of being effective, if that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, now quickly on to transfers before we go. Steve, Atletico Madrid target, or Arsenal target, monitoring Atletico Madrid player Adrian Nino. An article that you dropped. Got more on that?
Yeah, I mean, he's again one of these players that I've been told that Arsenal are watching. He plays for Atletico B. You know, he's someone who's he's in the mould of people have mentioned players like, you know, Fernando Torres, Griezmann, Aguero. You know, people. I spoke to a guy. I actually had to speak to him in Spanish.
Oh, God, I bet that was like Del Boy.
That was
bonjour.
Two Peronis, por favor.
Didn't say it louder.
But there's some good apps on. So you need them apps. He's very highly rated. Arsenal are interested in, and they're keeping an eye on him. As I say, he's a player that they think highly of, and he's someone that Berta brought in. He signed him from the name of where he got him from when he was a kid. Surpassed is gone for the minute, but he was integral in bringing him to the club. He's like someone in like the Torres mode, you know, someone who's very powerful, got silky skills, quick thinking, clever, good shot with either foot. So again, watch him because it's someone that, you know, we've got Bert's come in and he's going to have his own players, new ideas. So all these players that we've known of late, you know, that all could go out the window in the next 2 weeks, and we could be talking about new ones. And this is one I'm being told that's been recommended to Arteta, and now we're watching him. So yeah, someone to keep an eye on.
All right, another player that's been strongly linked to North London, but not Arsenal, but Tottenham, is Adam Wharton, a player who coming from the Championship is doing very well. Raised the eyebrows of many fans, especially since he's come back from injury, and in the FA Cup. Tottenham looking at Tyler Diblin and Adam Wharton, are they?
Yeah, Tyler Diblin and Adam Wharton. You know, they're looking. Tottenham are looking for what I've been told in sort of like into the youths. You know, they've already got quite a few there with Bergville, Odeberg, Archie Gray, Mickey Moore, and they're going to be going down that road in the summer. It's going to be a big summer for Tottenham. But Wharton's one they're looking for. Tyler Diblin's is another one. But over the last day or so, Garth, Man United looking at him.
Wharton?
Diblin.
Oh, Diblin. We've been looking at him for a while, ain't we? I thought as they understand. It's one of them players that we need. They're cherry on top players. You know what I mean? I need first teamers, immediate first team. Good player, but I need immediate first teamers at Man United. And I'd say the same for Spurs. Keep one of these young players is not going to help you. Tyler Diblin.
Spurs doing it for a specific reason, though, isn't they? They're doing it because they want that sell-on value. They're not serious. They're not serious. They want to be that middle club. They want to be an Ajax, and hopefully they can get an odd stint in the cup run, the odd cup here, the odd finish high in the Premier League, but keep on making money and selling on players. I think they'd be happy to go back to the way where they were selling Man United, Berbatov, and constantly supplying them with top players.
I'd advise people to be a little bit, thingy on Tyler Diblin. Look, I mean, I haven't watched him, I haven't scouted him, I've just seen what everybody else has seen. But he's still very young. Do you know what I mean? Look, he's stood out in a really, really poor Southampton team, one of the worst teams that we've seen in Premier League history, probably. So I think people should be a little bit wary, I'm seeing prominent journalists, big name journalists saying that Southampton want something of 100 million for him. But I mean, that's ridiculous. Nobody's going to pay that. For him, that's a ridiculous fee. 35, 40 maybe, or something like that at this stage of his career, but no more. But you said about Wharton. They are looking in these areas, especially in the midfield. I've spoke a few times on the show. It looks to be like Bentancur will be leaving in the summer. Basuma, I'll be absolutely shocked if he's still at Tottenham during the summer. So they're looking for young English players to bring in, and Diblin and Wharton are those type of players, and there's big interest from them. It's going to be a big summer for Spurs. A very big summer. Whether it be like they'll spend loads, but they'll be looking at bringing a lot of players in. You've got Cristian Romero now, who's another one who I think won't be at the club next season. Son's. It seems that he's had his day now. He seems to be. His legs are going. I think he'll be 33 by the time the new season starts. There's been sort of reports of like Tottenham looking at Jack Grealish, which I don't think would be a bad signing.
So that's more like it. That's more like it. Yeah, Jack Grealish going to Spurs. That's what they need.
Would you like a Jack Grealish at United, Garth?
No, only because of the system. I like Jack Grealish a lot. I think he's a very good player. But this Amorim system, no, he don't fit into that. He certainly ain't going to be like, maybe actually. Like, into one of the teams.
I thought it was right there, Garth.
Yeah, I would. I actually would. Yeah, if the price was right and the wages was right. And
what would you take him for, Garth? What do you reckon? What is he worth?
Oh, I think you'd get him a good deal.
Yeah, I mean 40 mil now, I reckon. Yeah, for Jack Grealish.
Yeah, 30 to 40.
He obviously couldn't be on that wages, could he? Do you know?
No, exactly. The wages 35 with add-ons. You know what I mean? Performance rated add-ons that if he really rips up, takes it to 45 mil, something around there. You're certainly not paying 100 mil for him anymore. You know what I mean? That much is for certain. But I like Jack Grealish, and I think actually, excuse me, sorry. Actually, the more I think about it, yeah, if you get if Bruno was to leave, and you put Grealish and a more direct, you have like Ahmed on the other number 10 role. Could work. But yeah, I'd take Grealish all day, actually. More I think about it, I changed my mind.
Yeah, we're talking about. I'd take Grealish.
I'd take Grealish all day.
He's underrated, kids, don't you think, Jack?
Yeah,
Grealish?
I think anyone that can get Grealish has the potential to turn him back into the Aston Villa Grealish, where he's got a little bit more freedom. He's not so much in a system, having to be so regimented. Grealish needs that freedom, and when you take that away from me, although he did a good job, he was doing a good job at City, and they got what they wanted out of him. It takes away a little bit of that flair that Grealish has.
Of course he does. It's look at Ibrahimovic, what he said about Guardiola. You know, also Grealish isn't a goals and assists machine. Never has been. No. He's the man who plays the ball before the assist. What's it called now? The pre-assist. You know Grealish is the man that drags two defenders out because he's got that close ball control and then slips a pass back into centre midfield who plays the ball through the middle. And so
ball retention, isn't it? Ball retention. If you want someone to goals and assists, if you want someone to hold onto the ball, keep the ball, win free kicks, do that like Graf said, do that pre-assist thing. You know, hold that ball and keep it up into that final third, waiting for others to come in for attack sometimes if you need to. You know, he is ideal for that. He's perfect for that. You know, once he's got the ball, he's either keeping it. He never hardly gives the ball away. Do you know what I mean? He'll always find a pass. He'll always go round a man, or he'll get his free kicks like he does. Do you know what I mean? He's good at that. Yeah. So 40 million, I think 35 million, I think is probably a steal when you think about it.
Yeah. A player being linked with Manchester United as well is Moussa Salah from Shakhtar. From Schalke, sorry. Steve, you know much on this one?
Yeah, this one was like I was speaking to someone in Germany, and they literally told me that Rafael Pienta, who's his agent, same agent as Erling Haaland, is literally talking to Premier League club and pushing him around Europe, but especially the Premier League. And she's spoken to Manchester United about him, spoken to Liverpool about him. He's someone who's friend of the show. Marie's plays for obviously her team, and he's taking that league by storm. That second division Bundesliga 2. He's like people who I've spoken to about him. He's just so much better than that. Do you know what I mean? And they think that at 25. He needs to make that big move now, I'm told. Hence why Pienta, who's like a super agent, is pushing him out now. It's like they've said, you're 25. You need to make that big move now because you've literally sort of now people are looking up. So get out of Bundesliga 2 and get to a big club. Whether he'll go to somewhere like Man United, whether he'll go to somewhere like Liverpool, I don't know. But from my understanding is that Man United took a look at him and they like him. Whether they
his current value at $6 million, you'd be able to get him on a cheap deal.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, I think the story was an interesting story for me because it was someone I'd never heard of, and I liked the story because it was a super agent. Whose client was playing in Bundesliga 2, who was absolutely smashing it left, right, and centre at the minute, and obviously was too good for this league, and was at an age where he needed to make the move. So that excited for me as a story goes, and especially when they said that she'd been talking to Liverpool and Manchester United about him, and you can imagine someone of her standing, Pienta's standing, talking to clubs like Manchester United and Liverpool. So I found that really interesting. So even if Man United and Liverpool don't take him, I'd definitely keep an eye out. I'd write his name down and watch him to see if he ends up in the Premier League this season. the end.
All right. Is there any more transfer news from you, Steve?
No, I can think off the top of the head, mate. I'm sure there's loads, but yeah, I think I've said now most weeks, it's going to be a big window, mate. It's going to be a really big window. It's starting to get busy now.
Mm-hmm.
We all know what Arsenal want. We all know what they need to do. It's a massive window. I'm excited by it as an Arsenal fan. I think if you're looking at the Zubamendi's, you're looking at the Gorikis or Sesko or Williams, as an Arsenal fan, you'd be looking at this is probably could be the completion of, doing something really special next season. Could do still this season. There's still the possibility that Arsenal could still do something this season. It's they're in with a puncher's chance in that quarterfinals against Madrid. Man United still a big season for them. Do you know what I mean? That they're in the Europa League quarterfinals. They got Leon. It's going to be a massive season for Manchester United. Transfer window for Manchester United, and yeah, it's all starting to eat up.
Percolate nicely, yeah, percolate nicely.
United won the Europa League and Arsenal won the Champions League. Man United back in the Champions League. Look at it.
That's got to be exciting for you guys. You know what I mean, Leon?
I want you to ever win the Champions League, even if it means we don't win the Europa League.
Oh yeah. Arsenal win the Champions League and Man United win the Europa League, which means you get back in the Champions League and you fast track yourself back into the Champions League.
I'll take the doldrums of where we are now over you having that Champions League, lads. I'll take the doldrums. Thank you very much, because I'm petty. I'm petty. I'm not even going to lie about that.
All right. On that note, thank you for joining us, everyone, tonight. Thank you for joining us, Garth, and thank you for joining us, Steve.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, if you're wondering where I've been in Thailand. If you've never been before, get yourself down there. Beautiful country. We're back now. Obviously, towards the end of the season, we've got plenty of transfer news coming up. This is when it starts to heart. When you start to hear the transfer rumours now, this is what you're going to start to see in the summer as well. So make sure you join us every Monday at 8:00, every Tuesday for the Arsenal show. Catch me on the Transfer Exchange show on TikTok and Kieran AFC as well. Make sure you go and follow Steve on Twitter. Don't you ever catch me calling you X after Tusk. But yeah, make sure you go and find Steve and ask him any questions you've got about any transfers. He's always open. Thank you for joining us tonight, people. Peace out. Stay safe and wash your hands.